Hello and welcome back to my channel, Dinar and Dong Updates. Iraq's new chapter, economic overhaul, development projects, and the dinar's rising potential. There's a wave of transformation sweeping through Iraq, and it's creating ripples not just regionally, but across global markets. For anyone invested in the Iraqi dinar or closely following Middle Eastern economic affairs, this moment marks the beginning of something profound. Iraq is stepping into a bold new era, driven by visionary reforms, large-scale development initiatives, and expanding international partnerships. The energy on the ground is different now, more determined, more focused. Something big is unfolding. Leadership with a vision. Al-Sudani's pivotal message. At the center of this shift is Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani. His recent speech struck a different chord than the usual rhetoric we've heard over the years. There was clarity, urgency, and an unmistakable sense of purpose. When a national leader speaks with such conviction, it's usually a sign that real change is underway, not just political promises or reform in name only. Al-Sudani's commitment to structural reforms and economic revitalization is resonating across the country. His administration appears determined to break Iraq free from its past cycles of conflict, mismanagement, and dependency, and instead forge a self-sustaining, globally connected economy. This message is crucial, not just for Iraqis, but for anyone betting on the country's financial resurgence. The Development Road Project, Iraq's mega initiative. One of the most game-changing efforts now taking shape is the Development Road Project. This isn't a simple infrastructure upgrade. It's a massive, strategic undertaking aimed at transforming Iraq into a central economic corridor, connecting Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. The scale of this initiative is hard to overstate. The plan includes modernizing Iraq's railways, highways, ports, and logistics networks, enabling seamless transport of goods and services. By positioning Iraq as a trade and transit hub, the project will create countless jobs, attract foreign direct investment, and stimulate long-term economic growth. This is a bold leap forward and a major step in Iraq's plan to transition from an oil-dependent economy to a diversified, innovation-driven system. It's not just a dream, it's being implemented, and that's a big deal. A new face for Iraq's financial sector. While infrastructure grabs headlines, equally important are the changes happening behind the scenes, in Iraq's banking and financial services sectors. For years, these institutions have lagged behind global standards, but that's beginning to change. Iraq is working to modernize its banking systems and improve its relationship with major financial powers, especially the United States. We're now seeing efforts to expand digital banking, increase financial transparency, and encourage international cooperation. Outlets are opening for global distributors, new financial protocols are being adopted, and partnerships with foreign banks are being actively pursued. These aren't symbolic gestures. They represent real shifts in policy, aimed at making Iraq a safer, more accessible environment for international investors and economic partners. Strengthening ties with the U.S. is also an important move geopolitically, signaling a shift in alliances and strategic priorities. The Iraqi dinar, revaluation and what it means. Perhaps the most talked about subject among investors is the potential revaluation, RV, of the Iraqi dinar. It's long been speculated, and for years many have waited patiently, hoping for that long-anticipated moment when the dinar's value surges. Now the signs are becoming harder to ignore. There are reports that up to 90 trillion dinars are currently outside the formal banking system, locked away in personal safes, under mattresses, or held by speculative investors. This means a huge portion of the country's currency is effectively out of circulation. If a revaluation occurs, a massive influx of dinar could re-enter the economy, providing liquidity encouraging spending, and potentially leading to a major rise in value. The economic impact could be enormous, especially if it's managed properly. But even more critical is this. The RV isn't being floated in a vacuum. It's being considered amid a broader push for reforms, foreign investment, and trade expansion. That makes it far more plausible than it might have seemed a few years ago. Why the timing feels different. Now many skeptics argue that talk of revaluation has come and gone for years, with nothing to show for it. And that's a fair point. But this time, several unique conditions are aligning that suggest something different is happening. 1. Government stability. Iraq's leadership is more united and reform-driven than it has been in years. Al-Sudani's government is focused, and there's real political will to enact change. 2. Infrastructure momentum. With projects like the development road already in motion, Iraq is laying the groundwork for long-term prosperity. 3. International trade push. Iraq is actively seeking new trade agreements and expanding ties with global powers. 4. Financial reform. Updates in Iraq's banking system, greater transparency, and compliance with international standards signal a desire to reintegrate with the global economy. Public sentiment. The Iraqi people are demanding change, and that pressure is driving leadership to act more decisively. Put all of that together, and we're looking at a situation that feels far more credible than past rumors and speculation. Oil prices and regional politics. Key influencers. No discussion of Iraq's economy is complete without touching on oil. The country's budget and overall financial health are still largely tied to petroleum exports. Recently, oil prices have dipped, causing some concern. Analysts are divided on the reasons, but many point to geopolitical maneuvers, especially involving Iran and decisions made during former President Trump's term in office. Efforts to stabilize the oil market, remove destabilizing influences, and reduce Iraq's reliance on neighboring powers are ongoing. If successful, they could create a more predictable and secure financial environment for Iraq to thrive in. Reducing Iran's influence, for example, is viewed by many as essential to ensuring long-term sovereignty and stability. Iraq's leadership appears to be leaning into this vision, aligning more closely with Western powers and distancing itself from past entanglements. A future worth watching. It's easy to look at Iraq's past and feel skeptical. Years of instability, corruption, and external interference have left a deep scar on the country. But if you zoom out and look at the current trajectory, it's clear that the narrative is shifting. Iraq is no longer content to be seen as a post-conflict zone. Instead, it's stepping forward as a serious economic player in the region, modernizing its infrastructure, empowering its institutions, and building global alliances that are vital for future success. For dinar holders, this could be a pivotal moment. The possibility of revaluation is real, but even beyond that, the overall outlook for Iraq's economy is brighter than it has been in a generation. So, what should you do now? If you're already invested in the Iraqi dinar, the current momentum should encourage you. While nothing in investing is guaranteed, the pieces are aligning in a way that suggests potential payoff may be closer than many expected. If you're just starting to look into Iraq as a potential investment opportunity, now might be the time to dig deeper. Follow the reforms, watch the development projects, and stay informed about shifts in U.S.-Iraq relations. This isn't just about a currency, it's about the future of an entire nation. The bottom line, Iraq's moment is here. We are witnessing a significant transformation in Iraq. From sweeping reforms and massive infrastructure investments to growing international cooperation and the looming potential of a currency revaluation, the signs all point in the same direction: forward. This could be a defining period in Iraq's history. And whether you're a seasoned investor or someone just starting to explore opportunities in the region, One thing is certain. Now is the time to pay attention. The next few months could bring even more announcements, more action, and more clarity. And if current trends hold, the Iraqi dinar could be at the center of one of the most fascinating financial turnarounds of the decade. So stay tuned. Watch closely. Iraq's ride is just getting started, and the journey could be incredibly rewarding.